Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to look at race hygiene, including things around travel. Basically, how can you make yourself less at risk of getting ill during and before and after racing? And there's loads of different parts of this one, and some of it's a bit gross, so bear with me. So essentially what we're looking at, the really common things with race travel and hygiene are that there's lots of opportunities to get ill, and also we're really battering our body. Whether we're doing a 5K race, which is obviously less of an issue, or we're doing a much, much bigger event we're going to work really hard at, we're going to be compromising our immune system. The reason being that our body goes, hey, there's a big stress here. We need to make sure we survive this. And it will start to downregulate and start to deprioritize our immune system, which great for performance at the time because it allows us to keep us going. However, the downside is we're much, much more likely to get ill. We see this quite commonly, people traveling to races such as marathons abroad and then coming back, having been on a plane with everybody, breathing the same air and being really in close proximity to strangers, all that kind of stuff. So we can try and reduce the chance of this certainly happening or reduce the number of things that might be getting a problem. Now, some of this might be not up your street, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to put lots of different options out there, not suggesting you do necessarily any of these. It's entirely your call. However, there's some hopefully information in here. So one of the first things we'll look at is travel. Now, whether you're on a plane, you might want to travel with a mask. Now, again, some people don't like them, some people disagree. Whatever your take is, it's up to you entirely. However, this can be a good option because you are potentially getting, less of the coughing and breathing from people next to you. So that's an option. I certainly did for Amsterdam, and yeah, it was absolutely fine. I didn't really care personally. That was just my call. So the other thing as well, though, traveling in a car. So more likely, local races, you're going to maybe do some car sharing, which is absolutely fantastic, obviously. However, you will always find that there's somebody within that car who go, "Ooh, I'm going to feel a bit ill this week." Brilliant. Let everyone know. Just double check that everyone's okay, that no one's got a cold, that like not anyone, loads of people in the family have got colds, even if that person hasn't presented with that yet, that they're not feeling a bit under the weather. If they are, say, sorry mate, would you mind driving yourself if possible? Get a couple, a day or two in advance, just double check it. Personally, when people kind of travel in a car with somebody else and they're ill like that, I think it's really selfish, especially coming to a race. We're all runners, we all want to keep training, we don't want to be missing out on these things. So if you are going to have a cold, or if you've got a cold and you're meant to travel the race with somebody, try just give them a heads up, let them know so they can make that call, or to actually, I'm going to drive myself because I'm not feeling tip top, or just don't go to the race, it'll go better. But I get it. You're probably going to want to go. So then we're looking at when we're actually at the race. Now there's loads of different touch points. We're thinking about kind of hand hygiene in particular. Obviously, men generally, I'm going to make some generalizations here, and I say this as a guy, obviously. We're a bit gross sometimes. There's weeing in the bushes. People are clearing their nose. There's all these different things that can happen at a race, whether it be in the official toilets or not. Some people really are very, very poor at hand hygiene, and making sure that you're not touching something and then doing your own things, and then passing that on to yourself or yours on to somebody else as well. So easy ones, if you're going to the toilet using a portable or the portable lavatory, because you get a bit funny about the branding. If you're using a non-static toilet, make sure you wash your hands obviously in there, but try and use like elbows to move things, or open the door, just hold it with your foot, then wash your hands, then go out. Or if you're doing hand gel, because there's not any sinks in there, which often there aren't, get the hand gel on. Don't clean your hands first. Open the door with another hand, go out, then start cleaning your hands. Give your hands off a really good thorough rub with the alcohol gel. Make sure you're not touching things after you've already cleaned your hands, because then immediately they're dirty again. And that's assuming that other people have cleaned their hands, which they probably won't have done or won't have done very, very well. Equally, if you're blowing your nose, if you're somebody who gets quite congested, whether you do it in tissue, whether you're clearing your nose on your t-shirt, whatever, do not shake someone's hand with that hand. I had this after a race last year. I shook someone's hand afterwards and it was covered, and this is a gross bit, covered in snot. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I obviously wiped on because I had another option. I didn't have any hand gel on me at that time. And the guy had no qualms, like, yeah, great, cool, mate. And I'm like, cheers. So if you are someone who clears their nose, I do. I get quite bunged up, for different reasons. But I will not shake someone's hand with that hand. I go, I'll fist bump or elbow or the left hand, which I don't tend to use for it. So things like that are really how we can be really conscious of what we're doing. If you're doing something like the round Norfolk relay, for instance, and you're passing a baton to somebody, or you have a baton and passed to you, I take a little alcohol wipe and I just give it a quick wipe down before I then grab hold of it. That means I'm not then touching that, then my bottle and drinking, or then my gels. I'm tearing that top and then putting it in my mouth. I do not want to be doing those things when I've just touched something that people have, again, across maybe 17, 18 other runners, have done various different things and maybe not washed their hands brilliantly well. Buying cakes at races, great thing to do. Obviously, helps them raise money, which obviously they either put to their club or to the charity. So do it, absolutely have fine. Obviously, they're all cash based. I've never seen anyone they pay card on these things because they don't take it. So again, take the coins, but try and wash your hands before you eat the food, or take some alcohol gel or something, or eat it from the wrapper. Silly little things like that, because again, these people are passing hundreds of coins. People that have raced, people that haven't raced, again, have or haven't washed their hands particularly well. I've seen dogs picked up dog poo, for instance, if they haven't got something to wash their hands afterwards. There's any number of things that can get contaminated onto those coins that you're then taking back, putting in your pocket, and then num 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 on a bit of cake or cookie. So I know this all sounds a bit nuts. I know this sounds a bit kind of mental, probably. However, you'll be surprised the little things you can do. Very rarely do I get ill after a race these days because I do all these little things. It doesn't take a lot of thought, particularly, but it certainly limits your risk of getting ill when you've already really pushed your body quite hard and that immune system is going to be compromised. So, yes, sounds a bit bonkers, sounds a bit over the top, a bit overzealous, but what's the harm? There's no harm in doing any of these things. Really simple things that actually don't take much effort or time or energy at all, but potentially make you feel better and might stop you getting ill. So worth going for these things in my view. See you soon.